going to be our first watercolor painting. I'm so excited. It's a good one. You learn a lot of techniques in it. Primary colors, blue, red, yellow. The blue is a cobalt blue. The red is a pinky red, not an orange red. Pinky red. I think I talk a little bit about that later. But like a rose, this is actually called quinacridone or permanent rose. And then the yellow is the yellow ochre. So it's a little softer, like a sand color. And then we're going to learn how to lift with Kleenexes and put little people in here. I've got 2 samples here because I also did a detail at the end of this video of how to do these people. And we put a couple little birds in there. So it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. So here we have our supplies. We have our paints, and as you can see, my palette is kind of messy. I use a lot of different colors. Today we're just going to use 3 colors. We're going to use blue, red, and yellow. 3 primary colors. Cobalt blue, C-O-B-A-L-T. Quinacridone rose, or permanent rose. I'll have pictures of all this. And yellow ochre. We're also going to use either lamp black or Payne's gray, just a black color. So those are the 4 colors we're going to use. Here's our paper that's stretched. We have some paper towels. Just sop up the extra water. Always nice to have some Kleenex by. It's nice and soft, and we'll be able to lift the paint. Make sure it's not the kind with the lotion added to it. And we have our squirt bottle. This is important because watercolor paints, once they dry, they're good forever. You just need to spray them to get them reactivated. So I'm going to spray those 4. When I start a painting, sometimes I spray all of them. But those are all we're going to need today. Now the brushes we're using are a flat, number 1, so a 1-inch flat, and a tiny little round. This is a number 2 round for the detail. So just 2 brushes, 3 colors plus black, and of course some fresh water. Ready to start painting? Let's do this. Okay, so we're going to start painting. The first thing we do is take our 1-inch flat and get it wet. Tap it off. We want it pretty juicy. We're going to get into our blue. We're going to get a nice thick amount of blue paint. Okay. Now, for your sake, for beginning watercolorists, I'm going to have you mix up the colors, so you don't have to keep mixing as you go, because you might panic. Once you get used to it, you can do it. So there's our blue. Now here's our permanent or quinacridone rose. I'm going to get a good amount there. See how it's a little bit runny? Clean that off. Tap it on the paper towel. And then here's our yellow ochre. So I'm going to get that there. Good amount of paint. Okay, so as with any painting, we start from the farthest and work our way forward. This is going to be the sky that comes down to the ocean, and then the beach. So we'll start with the sky. Okay, I have a clean brush now. You can tell, oh, that's not clean. So you can tell by patting it on the paper towel. It still has some yellow in it, so I want to clean it real good because I don't want a green sky. There we go. Okay, so let's start with a wet brush. I'm tapping it a little bit. We're going to get into our blue. We're going to go back and forth with the blue. Nice amount of blue going on the watercolor paper. I'm going to get some more. I want it pretty dark. Get some color on there. This is good practice for washes. Okay, so I'm going to go down, I don't know, a couple inches. This is your sky, so however far down you want it to go. Now I'm going to clean it off, and with watercolors we want to work kind of quickly. So we're going to get the yellow or the red now. We're going to overlap a little bit on this and go up a little bit into it, and then down. See how that makes a nice pretty blend? A little more water. This is good practice. You'll get to know how much water to use, how much paint. But I have a lot of paint on there. It's pretty dark. But you can still see through it. It's transparent. Okay, and I'm going to clean off and quickly go to my yellow. I'm crossing over a little bit into the red and bringing it down. All the way to the bottom. So we have our blue, yellow, and red. Now I'm going to take it and let it kind of blend. See how that's coming down into the beach really nicely? I want this to blend a little more, so I'm going to turn it upside down. And while it's wet, the paints will blend into each other. It'll be really nice. Now here's a hint. If it's still shiny, you can still work with it. So I'm going to help it blend a little bit. And this is if you want to. You don't have to. I'm going to grab some of the pink and I'm going to just go back and forth a little bit into the blue. Clean it off. Now I'm going to get a little of the blue and bring that down. And I can work with it while it's wet still. Turn it this way. So that's really pretty. I like it like that. See, while it's wet, it's still blending. Now this is when it's still wet. So this is good practice to do. You can do this over and over until you feel comfortable with the colors. But now I'm going to take the Kleenex, wrap it on my finger, and right where the purple is in the middle, I'm going to do just a soft circle. You don't want to press too hard. It'll damage the paper and make a stain. Just very lightly. Got a nice round sun there. See that? And at this point, we let it dry. Remember, yours isn't going to look exactly like this. That's okay. It's good practice and it's a painting. You're not going to be copying exactly what this is, but this is a lesson in colors and how much water to use and how much paint to use, how to lift, how to blend. Learned a lot in this. We'll let it dry and then we'll put some details in. Okay, now that the painting is dry, we are going to do some more lifting to give a little more detail, like some reflection on the ocean, and then we'll put our people in. Ready? Okay, let's do that. So I have the tiny little round brush, and I'm going to get a Kleenex. Clean water. So I cleaned my water. Okay? So with a wet brush, not too drippy, maybe roll it on your paper towel, wet and roll it. I'm going to go right underneath the sun and do a little tiny line. Scrub it and then lift it. Do another one. A little bit bigger. Doesn't need to be perfect. Do you see how that's kind of showing a reflection? As it comes closer to you, it's going to get bigger. This is good practice too. This will help you later when you make mistakes. You'll learn how to erase them. Believe it or not, people are scared of watercolors because they think you have to be perfect and can't make mistakes. Oh boy, yeah, you learn. That's why having good watercolor paper is really, really important. I use Arches or Winsor Newton because you can scrub them and they won't pill like normal paper. If you get cheap watercolor paper, you won't be able to do this very easily without it ruining the paper. Okay, so these are about the same size. So I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger because as it gets closer to us, see how I'm scrubbing and then lifting? It's going to get bigger. Do a couple more. Let it sit for a minute so I can lift it. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now we have our reflections. I'm going to mess these up a little bit. They're too straight of lines. There. Okay. Now we're going to put our people in. And the people are basically black. And the man is a triangle, upside down triangle. And the woman is a right side up triangle. So we'll start right about where the colors blend here. It doesn't matter, you can put your people wherever you want. I'm going to do an upside down triangle and paint it in. See that? Pretty small, not too big. If it's too big, then we have to put hair and fingers and all that kind of stuff. We don't want that. We just want an outline of, oh, these must be people. And the woman is a little smaller, and I'm going to make her a regular size triangle right next to him. Okay, upside down, right side up. Now let's see if I can do this one, holding it. I'm going to put a ball on the top of this one. And a ball on the top of this one. Starting to look a little bit like people. His head is a little bigger than hers. You can put a little line out from his. Make it look like he's got a baseball cap on. Might as well. Okay, let's get some more black. Let's finish them up. We're going to put legs on them. Picking them up a little bit. Maybe put an arm out. And maybe some legs on her too. You can have them holding hands if you want. Now you're just going to do some little shadows from the bottom of their feet out. That attaches them to the ground. You have your adorable little new painting. Believe it or not, you just painted a watercolor painting. Yes, you did. Good practice. Try it a couple times. You could even put a bird in here if you want. A bird is just an upside down, well, it's a V, like the top of a heart. There you go, a couple little birdies. So thank you for joining my second tutorial, learning how to paint watercolors. I hope you're happy with this, and I would encourage you to try it over and over to get used to how the watercolors blend, how to lift it. A lot of things you can learn in this little painting. Who knows what we'll do next? Kind of exciting. So thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, please contact me through my website, smiddyartwork.com. And I'll try and answer your questions as soon as I get them. I'm also going to post this on my blog, on my website, so you can see it over and over. Instagram, Pinterest, what else? YouTube, the whole social media thing. Yeah. So thanks again, and we'll keep on painting.